Love and Dragon Radio. I'm your host, M.L.Ruscsak. I'm here with Michele Blood. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Melissa. Lovely to be here.
Now, you are multi-talented. You are an author and that wrote The Magic of Affirmation Power, correct?
Yeah, I've written a lot of books. The latest one is The Magic of Affirmation Power. Yep.
Awesome. Now, I do a lot of meditation, a lot of affirming my beliefs at nighttime. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your take on this?
Well, to listen to my take on it, I think I'd have to share a little bit about my story of how I even got into it, if that's okay.
That is perfect.
Okay. Well, Melissa, it's a really unique story. It's so, weird if you want to look at it, but it definitely divinely landing me in a life that is without fear and that is absolutely awakened and wonderful. So I was a rock singer in Australia. I've been a singer, all of my life in Australia since I was 5, actually, my first TV appearance. And so I was living a life of what I believed was fantastic, very, very hard work, because I managed my band. We became quite successful. And I was the singer of the band, songwriter. And so we traveled all over Australia, and it's a very, very hard life, but it was worth it to me to do all the things that I did to get to where we were, because I love to be on stage and sing. It's just a marvelous thing to entertain people and see them happy and dancing and having a great time. And of course, I loved singing. I loved my songwriting. And we were on our way to even greater success overseas. We had record companies overseas after us as well. So we were sort of killing it. So my life was great. It was great. And then on my way home from a gig, it was a 12-hour drive, because in Australia, the cities are miles and miles apart, because of the fact that back then there are only 16 million people for a country the size of America. So it's like San Diego County for the whole of Australia.
Right.
Or LA County, I should say, not San Diego County. And so I won't go into the long story, but I was in the hospital for months and months and months because of this car accident. Well, I was in a truck, actually, and the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. So I was crushed from all the musical equipment. And so I was in hospital for months and months and months and months. And I was told I may never walk again if I did survive the next operation, So many broken bones and injuries. It was crazy. So I was quite suicidal, and if being told I'm not going to be able to dance and do all the stuff that I did on stage and all the driving and all the other things you have to do, you have to be so physically fit. You have to be so healthy to be a singer, particularly traveling and all that sort of stuff. It's not like what people call sex and drugs and rock and roll. Not if you're successful, not if you go to sing every night of the week. You don't do that. And I wouldn't even hire anyone in my band who did anything like that. So we were really like business oriented, but still very, very good at what we did. We loved what we did. But so I couldn't imagine not doing what I loved. It was just, what am I going to do? So I felt quite suicidal, but there's nothing I could do about it. So people started bringing in tapes and books of positive thinking. And I wasn't in the periphery of metaphysics or that type of thing, because it wasn't in my life. I was doing what I love to do. I wasn't searching for the thing, because I was doing the thing. And so somebody put on a tape, and I couldn't turn it off because I couldn't move, of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, that is the audio book that changed my life. That's where I had my epiphany. Now, you could say to yourself, Melissa, well, how could a book that was written in the 1920s about 100 years ago, about successful entrepreneurial males in America 100 years ago, Henry Ford, how could that change somebody's life? Well, it was the part where Napoleon Hill said his little son was born with no hearing. So he would go into his little infant son's bedroom every night and say, you can hear perfectly. You grow up to be strong and healthy. You are happy. You're intelligent. And you can hear perfectly. Anyway, he did this every night. Auto-suggestion, he called it. Oh, excuse me. I've just been outside. It's a bit dry.
Oh, you're fine.
He called it auto-suggestion, affirmations, as we now know they're called. And he said, you've got to state it in the now, and it's got to be emotionalized for it to work. And I said, great. Yes, my calendar's not full. I'll be in this hospital bed for a while. I guess I'll give this a go, these affirmations.
Right.
So he said, you've got to say it as if it's happened. And I said, okay, that's easy. I can lie. I am healed, because I wasn't healed. I love myself. I didn't love myself. I am my friend. I definitely wasn't my friend. So I thought, oh, wow, great. I've got the perfect affirmation. All of it's not true. He said, it's got to be stated in the now. Okay, I am healed. I know I am. I love myself. I am my friend. I kept saying it over and over again, doing it over and over in my head at night so I didn't wake up other patients. And after 2 days, I got really downhearted because I didn't feel anything. I knew it would take a while for the healing, but I didn't feel better in my head, in my mind. I was still depressed. And so I thought, oh, this is BS. I'm not going to do it anymore. It doesn't work. However, I'm a singer-songwriter. I had an epiphany. You're a singer-songwriter. You know you can't get a jingle or a song out of your head when you hear it enough. That's why advertising agencies spend billions of dollars a year. So I asked my brother to go out and get me affirmation music, and he went out looking everywhere, and he said, there isn't any. He said, I even went to those silly new age stores, and he said, there's books and tapes about it, but there's nothing with music.
Right.
And I was like, well, I said, I'll have to sing and write my own. So I started singing onto a little tape over and over again. I am healed, I know I am. I love myself, I am my friend. And I kept singing it over and over again on this little cassette. And to make a long story short, I just kept listening to it over and over again. I ended up having miraculous healing. And so if that little song that I just sang could do that for me, because it has to go into the subconscious mind, the affirmation, for it to work. Otherwise, if you don't emotionalize it, it goes out. But I couldn't emotionalize it because I didn't believe it. So singing it, I couldn't get it out of my head. And I noticed I was getting happier, not just healing, but I was getting happier. By the time I got out of the hospital, I had written quite a few onto this little cassette, and I went into a recording studio with some of my musician friends, and we added the music to all these affirmation songs just for myself, just for my own use. It wasn't to sell or to give to anyone. You know, I wrote the Magnet to Money song, which has now been downloaded over 3 million times worldwide. I wrote the Success song, my Persistence song. Anyway, all the different things that I wanted to create in my life, I started doing affirmation songs for them. And so then some journalists in Australia found out about, me, because I was sort of all right known, as a singer in Australia. And so they thought it was a really unique story that I had created this healing in my body through pop music, my own pop music with affirmations. So then newspapers, a couple of music magazines, and a couple of TV shows started, interviewing me. Then promoters were coming out of the woodwork. Promoters saying, oh, we want you to come and sing at this big event right around Australia with Dr. Deepak Chopra, Dr. Wayne Dyer. And I'm like, who are they? I don't know who they are.
Exactly. Who are these people?
They're not in my periphery. And they said, we'll pay you $5,000 a gig and you can sell your music at the back of the room because we think people will love it. And I said, I hadn't even thought of selling it. So all of these events that I went on, one of them was with Bob Proctor, and all of the speakers were just raving. They just said, this is amazing to pop music. And Bob Proctor's the one who said, I'm going to take you all over the world and have you sing, and we'll record songs together. I'm going to help write lyrics. I know I can do it. And I ended up traveling all over the world, living in different countries, stopped my band because I realized this was my purpose, was to bring positive music to the world, to uplift people. So all those years of experience of doing music and being on stage and all the business stuff I had to learn to be the manager of the band, it all came into focus that this was my purpose. But it still wasn't my purpose, Melissa. There was more to it.
Exactly.
There was much more to it. So I started going deeper and deeper because, as you know, as a meditator, when you begin to have more a higher frequency, the light it's real, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. Well, then you start to see things that you couldn't see before because you're living more in the moment. And I then decided I want to find someone who knows God. I want to learn from someone deep meditation. So I went traveling all around the world again, looking for an enlightened teacher. And for those of you who don't know what enlightenment is, you can call it self-realization. You can call it a Kundalini awakening. It is something that happens after many years of meditation, but usually only when a teacher who is awakened has been able to transmit her consciousness, that light, into your consciousness. So you get this blast of light, which assists you. It actually starts meditating you. And so I started having amazing spiritual experiences, and I kept meditating, and she ended up being my teacher, was this American lady who was enlightened. I was just blown away because I was expecting a bald Asian man or an Indian man with long white hair. I didn't know I was going to end up being in America, living in America and meeting this teacher. And so then after quite a few years of really meditating deeply and having these deep mystical experiences, my Kundalini awakened. And when your Kundalini awakens, it goes up and it activates all the chakras. And then you, an enlightened person, you're not there anymore. It's like the lights are on, but nobody's home. You have become consciously one with that light. And a person, once that happens to you, you don't know why there was any fear in the world, because you're living so much in the moment, and your body, everything's vibrating all of the time, and you just feel a oneness with everyone and everything. You start going through these amazing mystical experiences through this Stargate, and you go into different dimensions, but you're not living in fear anymore. You have no fear. There is nothing there. You know that whatever you think about will manifest. You want to be of service. And so now what I do, Melissa, is I write about my experiences of awakening, especially in these two books. And I now do this for others. So I have something called the Mystical Experience, mysticalexperience.com. People become a member. They don't just pay a little bit of money each month to become a member, but then they get to have me meditate for them and have light transmitted. And people come because they want to transform. Yes, they want to have more money. They want to have this. They want to have that. They want to have success, but they want transformation. And even if they come to me just because they know when I pray or I transmit light, that it assists them to be in the now. It assists them to live without fear. It assists them to transform their consciousness. And as a meditator, you know that meditation shifts everything. And even if they didn't even believe in spirituality, their soul did. Their soul was attracted to come, as mine was. Mine was more prevalent. It was like I was on mission to find God. I didn't think about enlightenment or that would ever happen to me. God, no. But I wanted to have the experience of having more of a closeness to that light that I felt, that love that I felt for all of humanity, for every leaf and every tree. It was insane. It's such a powerful experience, though, when you actually have that light transmitted to you.
Oh, I understand.
I mean, awakened. And so that's basically a very, very long story encapsulated.
No, it makes perfect sense. If you look behind me, this is a green screen, but I used it as a visualization meditation. This is what I want. This is my goal. So I see it every time I do one of these podcasts. I see it on my computer screen while I'm working. So I have my goal. This is what I'm working towards. Then I have my meditation and my affirmations that I do every night.
Fantastic.
So everything's falling in place to get me to my goal.
Yeah, well, that's the way to do it. I mean, there's so many different modalities, but if you begin to utilize, because of course that's just stuff, but I absolutely assist people to rise in consciousness, so that, because the reason people take so long, as they call law of attraction, to manifest something, is because we've got this beautiful diamond. Say that this is a diamond. We are this diamond sparkling off this ocean of light. That is where we've all been, from the creator. We've been created from that. And the reason why people sometimes get disappointed is because they learn about affirmations and positive thinking, and they begin to realize, okay, this is possible for me to have this beautiful home, Melissa says. Okay, I'm going to start visualizing it. But not only that, I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to start a podcast. I'm going to get multiple streams of income. I'm going to work towards it Plus, I'm going to start getting my mind filled with new seeds so that they will grow into the trees of the manifestation that I want. And Mother Mera, who's a beautiful enlightened lady from India who lives in Germany, she says, God wants you to have everything that will bring you happiness. And the reason the divine wants us to have everything that will bring us happiness is so that we will then, once you've got the stuff that you want, you'll be focused on awakening, because your awakening is the only reason you're on the planet. But the beautiful thing is, as you're working towards having those things in life that will give you more freedom, more joy, to live in the house that you want to live in. I mean, where I'm living is paradise. I mean, I'm just surrounded by nature and birds and beautiful big home. And I mean, it's just everything I ever wanted, but even greater than I wanted. But I didn't even visualize a home. Things just started to manifest once I was starting to awaken more and more things, because your diamond gets emotional and habits that have happened, these mind sludge around the diamond, and the thoughts aren't as powerful or as instantaneous, because you've got to be in contact with your divine presence for you to be able to manifest what you want through your positive thoughts. Once you have awakened, your thoughts aren't blocked anymore, because there's more of your brain that's awakened and you are in this moment. So when I pray for others, so they come to me sometimes just so that I'll pray for them, because what a light transmission is, when that person is awakened, they can then connect you to your divine presence, which can take multiple years for you to try to clear out on your own just through affirmations.
Oh, very true.
And so, yeah, so then you can connect that person to, I mean, now that I've seen what you want, I'm going to know that truth for you. Alyssa, I'm going to know that or something greater is for you for sure. And you watch how that happens. You'll be like, oh, I think she's the real deal. Because you've got to be connected to your divine presence, because otherwise you're still listening to the old doubting mind, even if you're not consciously aware of it. Oh, that's not possible. No, I'm going to do an affirmation now. It is possible. It is possible. But you don't want to be in a doubting mind or doing an affirmation with any fear involved, because then it still will fly out the window. You want to be able to, they say you can't have a doubting mind. Well, what if you've still got some emotional issues or judgments or things that keep happening over and over again? You can be the best person in the world, intelligent, smart, but then because of the sludge around the diamond, the old karmic things that keep repeating over and over again, and you say, oh my gosh, I can feel I am one hair away from having that thing manifest. Why isn't it happening? I don't understand. I'm doing everything I really know I am. I'm a good person. I like to be of service to others. Why isn't it happening? I really do feel like I deserve it and I'm worthy of it. And then it's still not happening. So a lot of times people will come to the mystical experience just so they can manifest the stuff that they want. I have assisted businesses and different people from all walks of life, from members from 26 different countries. And even if they don't believe it, they have heard about it or they've seen testimonials. They're like, you know what? She seems like the real deal. I think I will go ahead and become part of the mystical experience because I want to get this stuff that I want. I'm a good person. I deserve it. Mother Mera said you can have anything you want, and this woman can assist me to get what I want. Great. But then what happens, they begin to get the teaching and the light transmitted, and they begin to oscillate and vibrate at a higher vibration. So then they begin to see the opportunities. They begin to feel more love in their heart, more peace. And then they want to go even deeper. Then they start getting the stuff, that's for sure. But then they want to go deeper so that they can awaken, because something has awakened within them from that light being transmitted that has awakened their soul. And they're like, I want to have what she's got. I don't want to be in fear at all ever again. And if you're not, if I can be in the moment and I don't have any fear, I know that I can achieve any goal that I want, because I know that I won't have that sludge. I won't have those old things pulling me back, those emotions,
right.
those old judgments.
Right.
So,
when you get to a point, you feel the vacuum.
yes.
You don't want that vacuum. You move away from it.
Yes.
So yeah, I've been doing this for a little bit. It's just everything's starting to fall into place because I believe. I don't allow that vacuum to keep pulling me back, because that vacuum can be people in your life that are pulling you back. They're not ready to believe for you, so you have to believe for yourself.
Yeah, and anybody that's pulling you back, that's still yourself. You've attracted that because we're all omnipresent. So that is still yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you know if it's yourself, or like, for example, the COVID-19, everything that's been happening in the planet, how do you differentiate between things and people affecting you in a negative way? Like, oh, I don't want to have that happen because I'm believing. I want to have faith. I want to go beyond belief. I want to have faith, like 100% faith. Ring the bell, please. I want to have the faith because I know if I have the faith, everything is possible. How do I gain that faith? I don't want to be in fear. I don't want to be using affirmations on an unbaked cake. I want to put the icing on a perfectly baked cake. I want to be baked in that light. I want to have that faith. So that is where it comes in, to find a teacher that can transmit light to you, because it is vital that that happens. Because I was teaching all over the world, making great money, but there was something missing. It was my awakening, my soul. And so I say to people, it's like, if you really want to know if you're growing in levels of consciousness, and it's not really levels, it's vibration. It's a frequency, and it's real. You'll know, because stuff will still happen in the world. There will still be things that happen to yourself as well, but not as much to yourself, but definitely in the world or to your loved ones. How do you know if you are raising your consciousness, if that frequency is working? You know, because you're not reactionary anymore. So someone's saying, oh, this is happening and I don't know what to do. My life is shit. Oh my God. Someone's got to help me. And they might want to take you down their rabbit hole. Or you say to somebody, oh, I'm going to write a book and I'm going to do this and I'm going to make lots of money. And they go, oh, look, don't be ridiculous. You're an accountant. You're doing well at that. You don't want to lose your safety net. And everyone has realized with this lockdown that they have lost their safety net. People have got to reinvent themselves.
Exactly. We don't have a safety net. We have to go into the unknown.
Exactly, which is awesome, because when you do something, even if you're scared, any time that somebody actually takes action to do something different, to transform their life, no matter what it is, start a new business or whatever, every time you do it, even if you're doing it scared, you are raising your vibration. It becomes faster, because then you're saying, okay, I understand. I'm not going to say I'm not fearful, because I'm actually fearful of doing this, but I'm also a little bit excited. So then you jump over that terror barrier into the land of creativity, where your divine presence will just go, what do you need? We're here for you. Gabriel, Michael, Stephanie, angels, come down here and help Melissa, okay?
We started with my LLC, which is my publishing company, this radio show, and some other things thrown in last year. Well, raising my vibration, I linked up with a great friend who's now taking my little LLC. He was like, you need to be a C Corp. And you need to take your LLC and divide it into 4 different companies. Okay, this is scary, but you know what? We're doing it, and it's fun.
Woo!
And exciting. And
bells and whistles, everyone. Woo!
Yeah. So we're going that way, and it's all with doing my affirmations, raising my vibrations, and I do this every night. Everyone says, my daughter knows, she's sitting here with me. When I'm in meditation, I'm in meditation. You don't bother me, because I'm elevating my vibrations.
Very, very good. So you're a living example of what it's about, because you've got to work it. You've got to work it on your own. Everyone has to work on your own, but you can't do it alone.
No, you can't.
You have to, whether it's a book or a teacher or a podcast like this, something that will trigger that satori to say, okay, I'm going to make a decision to transform. I'm going to expand. If it's scary, I'm still going to do it, because I know that to expand my consciousness, I have to step outside of my comfort zone, because my comfort zone is just my old habits, my old mind, states of mind. And I want to get away from that person. I want to actually transform and become the Melissa that I know I can be for my daughter, for my business, for my family. And I want to swim in that pool.
Exactly. You came to my podcast or my radio show a year ago. I was a very timid radio show host. And now you see I'm doing a video podcast. I'm like, oh, this is scary. I hate being on video. But you know what? I have to be on video because my mind says for me to grow, I need to be more out there.
Well, you're a beautiful young woman, so I don't know why you wouldn't want to be seen in video. But I mean, the beauty coming from you, though, Melissa, is inside and outside. Anyone who looks into your eyes can feel that spirit. So that's a beautiful thing to have. And especially with a daughter, that's, you know, it gives you incentive. But not everyone has incentive to, they don't have a family. They don't have the incentive to do that sort of thing. But what incentive you could have is to do it for other people, even if they're not in your family. Do it to inspire other people. Do things that will bring happiness to others. Always uplifts your consciousness.
Always.
Every way you can imagine. Always.
Which
so
is
tell
why,
me a little bit more about your publishing company.
Oh, my publishing company. Oh, we're going from mostly, if I can talk, is mostly fantasy right now. But as I finish the C Corp, we're going to be looking for more nonfiction, motivational, positive authors to come. Because I don't want just the fantasy, which is great when you're trying to escape reality. But if we can also have our nonfiction, or like my good friend Antonio T. Smith, who is a motivational coach. He does. He's actually one that helped me get on the path of affirmations.
Very good. God bless him.
Yes. So if I have more authors like that, then I have both.
Very, very good. Yeah, it'll be wonderful for you to, and also when you're supporting someone who's being creative and they've stepped out of their comfort zone to bring something to the world that's, you know, fantasy, people still enjoy that. Reading is good for the mind anyway, no matter what you're reading. Really, reading is great. We always encourage readers. But if you're also, so you're helping those particular authors who are very creative, because I've been teaching people how to write books for many, many years, fiction and nonfiction. And fiction is harder to write than you have to have more creativity.
Yes.
Nonfiction is easy to write if it is you that has the experience. If someone goes ahead to write a nonfiction book, particularly self-help, well, then it has to come from their soul, from their life experience. When you do that, you don't have to be awakened for the person to transmit. You will feel that the person their life has changed. So for you to like that particular author, the affirmations that he did must have changed his own life. And that's why he could write about them. Because it's like going to a piano teacher who can't play piano. No one's going to do that. So you always want to make sure when you're choosing your authors that they're coming from a place that it has changed their life. And I know that you will know how to do that, because young authors, they don't have to be young. I mean, I know people that have just finished writing a book at 60, you know, but if they've gone ahead and done that, and then you can help support them get their book out there to the world, that's a beautiful, beautiful purpose.
It is. And I love helping my authors. Most of my authors that have published with me within the last year are all new authors.
Yeah.
And it's
so you're really being,
it's not just publishing their work, it's coaching them on how to get to radio shows, how to get their numbers up, get to their audience. It's not just, oh, I wrote the book and they should come to me. No, you have to work the process.
Oh gosh, yes. Of course you do. Absolutely.
How many authors are out there? We have,
and the authors that are out there, when they want to work the process, you know, as their coach, as a publisher, you're their coach and their mentor as well. It's getting them to fall in love with the idea that it's really going to be of service and uplift other people. Because when you know that, they fly off the bookshelf.
yes.
I mean, they really do. I mean, this book, Become Magnet to Money Through the Sea of Unlimited Consciousness, that I wrote with Bob Proctor, goes from the law of attraction to affirmations into deep, deep levels of consciousness and meditation. and so that anyone at any level. But it's in 9 different languages now.
Mhm.
But it just didn't happen to get into 9 languages because I self-publish all my work. I had to work very, very hard, even though Bob Proctor and myself had sold tons of other products. I mean, my Magnet to Money song has been downloaded 3 million times. So I've got all my music and everything, but with a book, it is a different type of thing. And do you get your authors to also do an audio version of all of their books?
We are moving into audio. We're
Good.
into multiple languages. I'm
Excellent.
working on doing 25 books into Irish right now. We're starting with Irish.
To Gaelic.
To Gaelic.
Wow.
And then, yes, Scots Gaelic and also true Irish Gaelic.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have a book.
Is a Broadwick more like neck?
It's very exciting. But we have a bookstore in Ireland that will take our books, but they want the option to have it in their dialect. I'm like,
wow, that's you know what I love about that, because you know the old Poms, the old English, no matter where they went, they wanted everyone to not speak their native languages anymore. As this tiny little country, the UK, taking over the world. I don't know how it happened, but anyway, they did it. And it was really, really sad that, you know, it was outlawed for many, many years in Scotland and in Ireland that they couldn't speak their native language, their Gaelic.
So sad.
And it's terrible, because this is something that is of great service that you're going to do, because of the fact that it's going to bring the younger ones as well back to their original language, which is great for their consciousness as well.
That's why I'm doing it, because we're eventually going to have it in 9 languages, all the books in 9 languages.
Very, very good.
So that is something I want to work toward, because a lot of the Americans, we speak 1, maybe 2 languages. Well, why don't we teach our heritage? Because most of us have multiple heritages within our ancestry, right? We're not just from the UK.
So, America's from everywhere. Yeah, I mean, this is America's got every. I was told that New York has the population has every country in the entire world.
Yeah,
in New York City.
New York. So let's get the other languages out there to our kids, and let's start teaching them our real heritage. It's not just our language in English, because there's different types of English out there, but let's teach the other languages, because we're losing the other languages.
Well, I'll keep my Australian language going. G'day, mate.
Awesome.
How's it going? Take a good Captain Cook, why don't you?
But it was so nice talking with you today.
Yes.
Where can our listeners and our viewers find you?
Well, if they want to have a look at the Mystical Experience, you just go to themysticalexperience.com. You can watch videos there and see watch the videos from all the testimonials from people from all over the world. A lot of Irish members at the moment. I don't know what's going on there, but Sweden, Spain, Albania, all over the world, members from 26 different countries. But also I've got a special link for your beautiful, beautiful listeners, and that is Michele Blood, Michele Blood, Blood. Don't blame me, it's my father's name. MicheleBlood.com/author talk. And once they go there, they can have access to the most powerful course I've ever put together. It's a 6-video course called Mystical Transformation. And the audio version, which goes on for hours, because I've got tons of affirmations, musical affirmations, affirmations spoken, but always with music underneath it, so that you have the entire brain experience, so that it'll go straight into your subconscious mind. And you can repeat the affirmations after me, the audio book, and also to experience the mystical experience for 2 months for free. So that is something that is very, very, very powerful. And I hope everyone enjoys going to MicheleBlood.com /author talk. If you want to go deep quickly, just go to themysticalexperience.com and just feel it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's
if you don't, you're not going to understand what we're talking about until you feel it.
Yes, absolutely right. It is an experience, because I remember talking about Irish, William Scannell, one of our Irish members, his life was in shambles. He had this beautiful store where we would go all over the world buying native furniture and artwork and everything and giving them really good prices. He started this shop to sell it, and it was a failure, but he couldn't get himself to stop, and he was just just bankrupting himself. And so after 2 years, he went and got that sold. He got everything looked after. Then he has transformed so totally. But he said he actually teaches meditation now. After he's been with me for quite a few years now. But he said it was so weird. He said, because I was just wanting to get some business advice, and I saw all these people that came to your site that were having success and they were having money troubles, things were changing. And he said, I didn't really think I was on a spiritual path. And I was, if I was going to look for an old Asian man. And he said, I saw this blonde lady giggling and sharing all this stuff. And he said, I don't know what it was, but I got slammed. And that night, my body was vibrating all night. And he said, I wasn't looking for an enlightened teacher, let alone I would never think an American or Australian or whatever would be able to do it. But so you just feel the vibration for yourself and see how that can transform you.
Very true. And again, thank you so much for being on the show. But that's about all the time we have today. And it was so wonderful talking to you. And thank you for the link.
And I wish you all the success in the world. I don't wish it for you. I know it for you. Mm-hmm. And I see you in the home that you're looking at right now on that screen, but something even better, because you deserve it. You're doing great, and God bless you greatly. And congratulations with all the great work that you're doing.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll get some people to your links.
Thank you, Melissa.